We'll start off with the start list for heat number 2. And as Dan mentioned, 24 competitors in this one. Start from the bottom. Ross Elcourt from the University of Vermont, a senior. Then UMass Lowell's Ryan Gillooly, the 23rd guy in there. Shane Henderson, a sophomore Seawolf. Wyatt Matthias, the junior from the University of Vermont. Home meet for Tyler Sullivan, the freshman. Vermont's Andrew Crompton is a sophomore. Carlos Santos, sophomore Stony Brook Seawolf. Now the Riverhawk is Jake Velasquez. Marty Dolan, a freshman from Binghamton. Chris Alfon, the senior from the University of Massachusetts Lowell. Luke Marsankis is a sophomore from Maine. Binghamton's Matthew Goyden. Cameron Avery, senior from Stony Brook. Benjamin Drezik is in there as well. Greg Mangarelli, Derek Holmes, Chris Biondi. Van Moffitt, senior from Stony Brook. Samuel Mills, sophomore from Maine. Drew Everett, freshman from UMass Lowell. Stony Brook, Evan Brennan, freshman. Freshman Ryan Guerci from Binghamton. UMass Lowell's Kyle Cloutier. And then Colin Ross, the sophomore from Stony Brook. Now in this championship heat, what's this race bring to these 24 competitors?
Well, it brings us the Avery-Alfond rematch, plus you throw in Van Moffitt, Chris Biondi, Everett and Brennan and Cloutier. This is kind of a more signature track and field event as opposed to the 10K. It carries a bit more prestige with it for one reason or another. All the good 10Kers are going to be competitive in the 5K as well, so it's not like we're saying that these athletes' race is more important than others. The 10Kers are good 5Kers too, and they're all going to be in here, and they're all threats to win it as well. So this is going to be a really exciting 3.1 mile event, and with the field pretty well strung out right now. I'm not saying we're going to be setting any program records timing-wise today, but the Riverhawks are not interested in making this one a slow affair.
Here are the results from that first unit. Marion Hunter, check that. Hunter Marion, the freshman from UMass Lowell, gets the first spot. Steve O'Driscoll in second, ran a 15:27. Matt Hines, 15:30. Cole Kayer, 15:35. Casey Gelfond, 15:39. Cohen Williams at 15:39 as well. They tied exactly. Ben Keegan, sophomore from Vermont, got 15:51. Miles Kirian, sophomore from Maine. And then that's the rest of that first group.
Michael, another athlete we have here in the 5K is Benjamin Drezik, the silver medalist from the steeplechase yesterday. It was nearly run down on a big kick by Santos at the end, but held on very strongly. And he's going to be another contender here. He's right up with the leaders at the start of it. He's now leading a bit of a chase pack in fourth position right now. But Moffitt is leaving nothing to chance as he currently sits in second after a pretty quick pace there. They're through 800 in about 2:10, so 4:20 mile.
Derek Holmes up there in third. And our leader, Chris Alfond, as expected.
Well, I mean, we expect him to be a contender. I'm not sure I would have expected him to go out there like this, but, Moffitt has, we said before in the 15, he's more the strength-based guy. Relative to this field, he's a speed-based guy because he can run the 15 so well. Alfond knows if he's going to beat a guy like that, especially when he's already got the metric mile in his legs, he's going to have to run away from him. So he's choosing to make this a quick affair. Alfond, the silver medalist from the 10K yesterday, and the gold medalist, Avery. Don't count him out of this either. Currently sitting in sixth position, but plenty of time for him and his 10K strength to make that move.
Alfond's really dragging out or pushing the pace here.
Yeah, this is fast. Coming through 1,200 in about 3:16.
What does he need to do to maintain this pace? 'Cause I feel like we've seen a lot of people this weekend come out to big leads, and then they've been caught more often than not.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit different. Alphond is a 10K silver medalist, and he's a threat to medal in this one as well. This is a race plan decision that he wanted to make the race a fast one. He's well within himself right now. He's running a really strong race. Could he get caught eventually? Yeah, but he's going to make the others work for it. He won't just fall back to the field. He's done this. He's a veteran. He's a senior. He knows what he's capable of doing. He's too much of a medal threat in this event, and he's too seasoned to go out and run recklessly. So that's what makes this a little bit different from what you might see otherwise, is that he knows what he's doing, and just because no one's going with him, that's not his problem. He's got to go out there and run his own race.
Gary Gardner said that he's the grinder. He is the guy that just works his tail off day in and day out and is a great leader as well. He'll make sure to call people out if he has to. Oh, there's Jordan again.
Just came through the mile in 4:24. Not messing around here. You're going to make this a quick one. When you got a field full of guys who are all dancing around the low 14s, you got to do it. If you think as a strength-based runner you want to pick up a championship, and for the senior, probably still has the taste of that silver in his mouth from yesterday. He knows he's capable of winning it, and if he's going to win it, he won't outkick Moffitt, but he might be able to take the sting out of his legs.
Fifth year finishing his master's in mechanical engineering. Right behind him, you see Moffitt and Derek Holmes, his teammate.
And it's Drezek that leads the chase pack at the moment in fifth, and they're still coming through pretty quick. Inside of 2 miles to go. And this is kind of what we talked about a little bit yesterday about going after it and being aggressive. If Alphond does get caught, he will never have to wonder what would have happened if he had gone earlier to try to win a medal. And he already has a silver medal in his locker from this championship. Realistically, UMass Lowell isn't desperate for the team points. They're not competing for a team title necessarily. They want to do as well as they can. But he's out there to try to win a gold medal here. And, again, this is the way for a 10K-based guy to do it in the 5K. And he looks really good right now. Looks well within himself.
Alphond got second at the indoor championships in the 5K in February 2020. He won the 8K in the 2019 Americas cross-country championships.
By the way, Drezek and Santos are linking up again right at the front of that chase pack. Two of them that finished second and third in the steeple.
Boy, that was a fun race yesterday.
It was.
Santos made that really fun.
Alphond isn't letting up here. 4:24 first mile. It's going to be about a 2:17 next 800. Which puts him on pace for a 4:34. That is a tad slower, but when you're getting into your rhythm, it's naturally going to happen when you make it a quicker race. So, you know, maybe a tad of a warning flash there that, you know, he's not going to be able to hold 4:24s, but I don't think you'd expect him to. You just need him to keep the pressure on and continue to feel good doing it. Make sure he's got something left at the end, coming up to a mile and a half to go.
What's going through your mind if you're one of those two right behind him? If you're Van Moffitt, what are you thinking?
Well, at the moment, run your own race. But, you know, you're keeping an eye on him. You want to make sure he's not getting too far ahead of you. You didn't cover his first move. You've made that decision. That's fine. But you have to make sure that when you are ready to go, you haven't spotted a great distance runner like Alphond 100 meters. And they're slowly starting to reel him in a little bit. And Alphond knows that this might be coming because, think about it, even if they do catch him, if he doesn't get dropped right away and he's running with them, think about all the work they had to do to catch up to him. And they didn't run it as evenly as he may have necessarily. So even if they catch him, the race isn't over. And they are starting to inch closer to him. But Alphond, again, even if he gets caught, he's not out of this.
Of note for the team score, there's 5 Seawolves in scoring position right now.
Yeah, nightmare for Albany. Although remember that they picked up first and third in the 200, which helped.
This could be a big race for Stony Brook.
I mean, they're currently sitting 2nd, 4th, 6th, 7th, 10th, and 11th.
5 laps to go here.
Drezik's fallen off for UMass Lowell. Probably feeling that steeple a little bit yesterday, but he had a silver medal from that. Moffitt has reeled in Alfond. So now we're going to see what Chris Alfond has left and whether this subtle decrease of pace was out of necessity or maybe a conscious decision.
Moffitt does make the move. He's in front now. And Alfond is left in third, at least for the moment.
So Alfond's going to try to let them do the work. It looked like at first they were just going to blow by him, but now he's just hanging on right there. So if he can stay right with him, that's okay from him. But Moffitt's now committed.
His teammate Derek Holmes right in front of him.
Yeah, and Holmes looks good. And remember, he's relatively fresh. Holmes coming in 14:27, 8th in the conference and 7th in the field with no Schaefer.
Gary Gardner said that Derek Holmes is a guy that when the chips are down, when it's the Americas Championships or any meet that he needs to win, when the chips are down, you're going to get everything out of him that you want. He said he'll give it his absolute all this weekend.
He's put himself in a great position to win a medal here. And credit to Alfond, he hasn't fallen off yet. He's clearly working. But that 10Ker's strength, if he can just keep it close, he may have something at the end. Meanwhile, Avery is currently in 7th position, and he had to work really hard for that 10K. Remember that long sprint mile to close that one out. May have taken something away from him, and more of a strength-based guy anyway. In a position to score right now, which for Stony Brook can matter. But it would take a big move for him to get back up into the podium.
Van Moffitt, Stony Brook Sr. in control right now, but these three are going to make the end of this pretty fantastic.
That was a 69-second quarter, which puts them on pace for about a 4:24 last mile. That's fast, but it's not like a kicker's fast. That's what Alfond opened the race up in. So we'll see if anyone does make a move here. It's not going to be a long run for home. Alfond is starting to fade a bit, but he is within striking distance.
3 of them look like they'll be in control of the medals regardless, unless something crazy happens. We're expecting some rain here in about 30 minutes. Around 2:45, they're saying it's going to start raining here. We got hurdles to get through, or we got relays to get through.
Yeah, baton passes can be a little bit tricky there. Thankfully, the 4x1's already out of the way in that regard. It's looking like Alfond is going to be fighting for the bronze here, barring a miraculous kick. 800 to go, 2-man race.
It's Van Moffitt and Derek Holmes. Holmes, a senior from Marshfield, Mass. Moffitt, young man from Connecticut.
And remember, Moffitt ran the 15 earlier. Holmes is fresh. Moffitt's got the pedigree. He's a powerful sub-14 with 1,500-meter speed to boot. But this is going to be a battle and a half here down the home stretch, with Alfond still looking pretty good there in the bronze medal position.
Less than 2 laps to go.
Final 600, and Moffitt's done most of the work here. Holmes just loping behind him. Running an excellent race here, the UMass Lowell Junior. Only 14:27 this season, but looking the part of a championship contender.
What does Holmes need to do? Just pick his time?
Exactly. And right here, he's got to cover this move. If he doesn't cover this move from Moffitt, Moffitt's too good with his leg speed to be able to make that.
Van Moffitt.
Holmes has to cover it. If Moffitt starts to inch away, the race is his.
He's doing a lot more than inch away. What a pull away for Van Moffitt. Senior from Stony Brook, absolutely flying.
And remember, he did all the work in the early to middle part of the 1,500 as well. class of the field in his bread and butter natural event with 200 to go. Interesting race on for the bronze. Alphonse still has it, but there's a kick coming behind him in the form of Binghamton. And Alphonse might actually get the silver.
Now Alphonse creeping up on Holmes. It's getting more interesting as it goes on.
Moffitt, meanwhile, powering on ahead. He'll run about 14:08.
Van Moffitt, the 5K champ. Alphonse getting in there for a silver. And Holmes will just hold on to the bronze. So UMass Lowell takes second and third, but Van Moffitt ends up with the title in his senior season.
Moffitt's last 4 was somewhere around 60 to 61 seconds.